Hello and welcome to Galaxy Primetime News. My name is Nenwang Yumasaka. I'll begin with the headlines. President Bola presides over the National Council of State meeting at the Presidential Villa. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Rahman, unveils Nigeria's focus on technology-enhanced learning amongst Nigerian students. When foreign seen monkeypox is being declared as a public health emergency in Africa. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. To stay with us. And on News in Full. Members of the Council of State and the Nigeria Governors Forum have passed a vote of confidence on President Bola Tinubu and his administration over progress made so far in governance. The confidence vote came during the first council meeting since the beginning of his administration held at the council chamber of the Presidential Villa Abuja. Council members commended the president for resisting the bad effects of the hashtag End Bad Governance protest in the country. Correspondent in Abuchi Kunabuchi completes the story. President Bola Tinubu will, on Wednesday, August 14, depart to Abuja for Malabo, Equatorial Guinea on a 3-day official visit to honor the invitation of President Theodore Mbasogo. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngilale, said President Tinubu will meet with the Equatorial Guinean president at the Presidential Villa on arrival, where meetings will be held between the two leaders and agreement, particularly in oil and gas and security, signed. Igilale said the president will be accompanied on the trip by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, and other members of his cabinet who will be involved in the signing of agreement and review of opportunities to improve bilateral relations. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has signed the judicial office holders' salaries and allowances bill into law. The special advisor to the president on Senate matters, Senator Bashir Lado, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja on Tuesday. The National Assembly had in June approved a bill that grants 300% salary increase for judicial officers at the federal and state level. This followed the consideration and adoption of an executive bill transmitted by the president, which sought to prescribe improved salaries and allowances, as well as other fringe benefit for judicial officers and workers. The executive bill forwarded by the president was titled "A Bill for an Act to Prescribe the Salaries, Allowances and Fringe Benefit of Judicial Office Holders in Nigeria and for Related Matters." The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Rahman, has unveiled Nigeria's new direction in education, focusing on technology-enhanced learning to foster critical thinking and creativity in students. During a tour to the FCT Smart School in Karshi, alongside the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu in Abuja, Professor Rahman emphasized the government's vision for a digitalized school system, integrating personal learning and technology from kindergarten to university level. The minister highlighted the unique features of the smart schools, including interactive learning for toddlers, teacher involvement in content development, combination of conventional and vocational education, emphasis on Nigerian values and national curriculum. He also addressed security concerns, stating that elaborate arrangements are in place, including armed and unarmed gangs, community engagement, and strong synergy with host communities.
Government is delivering to Nigeria, which is to make provision to allow for a digitalized, school system, and for people who are trained in the use of technology right from the beginning, from early child, as you have seen, early child education, right from here to primary school level to basic education.
Also speaking, the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, announced the revocation of contracts for smart school infrastructure in Kebbi and Bayelsa State, citing delays and the need to ensure no state is left behind in the technology-driven education initiative. He also decried the failure of some states whose smart schools have been completed and handed over to supply the federal government with 75 teachers to be trained so as to run the schools.
To commend the FCT administration and also to call on other governors to please emulate what is happening in the FCT. School has not been handed yet over to the FCT, but we have seen a lot of projects in order to expand the scope of the school. Hostels have been built and a lot is being done by FCT. We have states that we have already concluded and handed over those schools to those states who've been on their neck to please give us 75 teachers to be trained. So
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, disassociates itself from a fraudulent website claiming to offer foreign visa sponsorship. It is a reason why we come to you shortly. Just stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. The House Representatives Committee on Basic Examination Bodies on Tuesday grilled the head of National Office of the West African Examination Council, Nigeria, Josiah Dangote, over a 6 billion naira deficit the agency incurred in 2023 during an investigative hearing. Dangote was accompanied by the Registrar Angus Okoleze, Senior Deputy Registrar Victor Odu, Acting Director of Finance Shegun Jerime, and the Deputy Director of Finance WAEC. The committee also questioned the examination body regarding a 5 billion naira loan it obtained in 2022 for the purchase of customized calculators. Dangote presented the agency's cash book to the committee, but they rejected it, insisting on the submission of the agency's bank statement. Following unsatisfactory responses from the WAEC representatives, the committee, led by its chairman, resolved that WAEC must submit all its bank statements from 2018 to the present within a week. A committee member, Awaji Ambante, described WAEC as uncooperative, emphasizing the need for accountability. No fewer than 15 lives were lost in the early hours of Tuesday morning to road crash involving a truck, an 18-seater passenger bus, and a micro-commercial vehicle in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The crash, which occurred at Awoboro Junction along Ojo-Iwo Road Expressway today. According to an eyewitness, whose car was equally damaged in the accident, the trailer driver lost control when the vehicle developed a brake failure. He also narrated that the truck, which was coming from Iwo Road towards Ojodo on the only side, opened for traffic, rammed the two vehicles and rammed into them and pushed the vehicles into a nearby ditch. He disclosed that the dead, including men, women and children, have been evacuated to an undisclosed morgue, while the injured were taken to the hospital around the area. As at the time of filing this report, men of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Nigerian Police and the Nigerian Army were already at the scene to maintain law and order.
But I sympathize my condolences to all the families. People lost their lives, and I was crying. You know, you could see they were removing the bodies, and you can see lifeless bodies. So what I suspected that happened was that when we got down, we thought that we were safe. But it's not that I think the truck lost control of the car, probably by his vehicle, by maybe loss of brake or something. But you know, this is a bend. It's a bend from that side.
Justice Silvanus Orji of the Federal Capital Territory High Court has extended the order restricting participants in the Augur protest to the MK Abiola Stadium, also known as the National Stadium. The judge gave the order following an application to that effect filed by Ogu Onoja San on behalf of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. At the resumed hearing, none of the 12 defendants appeared in court and no legal representation. The Director General of the State Security Service, Director General, Nigeria Civil Defense Corps, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff were the first to 12 respondents. However, the FCT Minister, through his lawyer, drew the attention of the judge to a statement issued by one of the protesters where she threatened that the nationwide protest may be extended beyond the initial 10 days. The management of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, has de-associated itself from a fraudulent website claiming to offer foreign visa sponsorship using its name and logo. The website, according to a statement issued by the Director of Corporate Communication of NELFund, which is being promoted on Facebook, NELFund categorically stated that it has no affiliation with the website or any similar scheme, adding that its mission is to solely provide educational loans to eligible Nigerian students to further their academic pursuit within Nigeria. The Education Fund organization said it does not offer a visa sponsorship or related services, and any claims to the contrary, saying such claims on behalf of the NELFund are entirely false and misleading. It added that the fraudulent website is using NELFund's name and logo without authorization to deceive the public, and the fund strongly advised everyone to exercise caution and refrain from engaging with the website or providing any personal information. NELFund maintained that it has taken immediate steps to address the situation, and it has reported the matter to the appropriate authorities for further investigation. The Gombe State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Habi Dahiru, has announced that the State Public Health Emergency Operations Center has been placed on alert following confirmed and suspected cases of diphtheria in Herguana Ward, Gombe. Report has it that diphtheria caused is a vaccine-preventable disease characterized by severe throat and respiratory infections that could lead to death if untreated. The Hero disclosed that the state has recorded 3 suspected cases and 1 confirmed cases of diphtheria case. He stressed the availability of vaccines for diphtheria prevention, especially for children at primary health centers across Gombe State, and urged parents and guardians to ensure prompt vaccination of the children to safeguard them from this potentially fatal disease. The Commissioner called for heightened awareness and proactive measures to contain the spread of the disease in the affected areas. The Nigerian government is advised to be protective of local industries and invest well in them to elevate Nigeria from the position of a dumping ground to a production company. Galaxy's Irebami Salako tells us more on this subject in this report.
One of the problems that have always been highlighted for Nigeria to solve in order to achieve economic prosperity is production. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, in 2023, Nigeria's total foreign import stood at $45.95 billion. Since the country seems to have started on the right note by patronizing a local manufacturer for assemblage of CNG buses, according to experts, here is what the country stands to gain if the federal government continues on this upward trajectory.
This value chain contributes an input that eventually sum up, to the manufacturer that produces the vehicle. So it will lead to wealth creation, and in fact, it will also lead to employment. Now, the more we empower the local manufacturers, the more the local manufacturer will employ more hands to be able to meet up with the requirements of others of those vehicles.
The point at which we're at right now is that we need to take advantage of the already existing infrastructure. The likes of Innocin, and then this new arrangement between Dangote and Projo Nigeria and some other local manufacturers, they're already on ground. They have their infrastructure on ground. So it's better to start from encouraging those ones.
Local manufacturers have often complained about lack of patronage from Nigerians who seem to have a taste for foreign goods. The federal government is advised to protect and subsidize production costs for local manufacturers to ensure patronage from Nigerians.
You can't easily tame the taste palette of people in terms of what they prefer, okay? You can only use suasion over time. So number one, the local industry, the local producers, they have to up their own game in terms of the quality of what they produce. One. Secondly, whether we like it or not, yes, we have all these international organizations that will tell you you should not be overprotective over your industries, but the truth is you can't afford to have an open economy. Open in the sense that you're not protecting your local industries. No government does that. China is heavily protective over the industry. In fact, what they do is they even subsidize the production of their local industries so that they can even compete better outside.
Now, beyond bringing down the cost of production, government again can also provide some incentives to Nigerians using the new vehicle that the government has just established, the Consumer Credit Corporation, otherwise called the Credit Corp. Now, this is an initiative where Nigerians can borrow money, to buy assets and pay back instrumentally.
Irebami Salako, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
The Nigeria Customs Service has announced that it will forgo 188.37 billion naira in import duties following the federal government's directive to remove tariffs and other import duties on key food staples. The Controller General of NCS Adewale Adeniyi made this disclosure in his keynote address at the Second Economic Confidential Lecture and Book Presentation in Abuja on Tuesday. Report has it that to elevate food inflation in Nigeria, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari announced on July 8 the suspension of duties, tariffs and taxes on certain food staples imported through land and sea borders. These staples include maize, husked brown rice, wheat and cowpeas. The measure introduces a 150-day duty-free import window for these food commodities to be implemented over a period of 180 days. According to Adeni, the 6-month tariff suspension could result in a revenue forfeiture of approximately 188.37 billion naira, which represents the government commitment to prioritizing food security over short-term revenue goals. In taking the lead in the fight against food insecurity, Nigerian youth have been admonished to channel their energy to explore the potentials in agriculture with a view to boosting food production in the country. This call was made by some speakers at the International Youth Day celebration organized by the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library Youth Development Center in Abeokuta, the state capital. Correspondent John Felix completes the story.
It has been observed that by aligning agricultural practices with local consumption needs, the country can harness its rich agricultural potential and reduce reliance on imported food and support the local economy. Speakers at this event say youth have major roles to play, which include supporting government in providing good governance, use their energy to support in food production, and shun antisocial vices such as internet scam, abuse of drugs, amongst others.
Please, let's make friends. The world can be more beautiful if we decide to make friends. Good friends, so not friends that will influence you to take drugs. Not friends that will influence you to become a bad person. Good friends that will influence your destiny and influence your future. Every one of us should have a plan. Every one of us should have one thing that we are farming. One thing that can meet our needs. We don't have to wait. The other time, red bell pepper was, I think, 2-3 pieces for 1,000 naira, and at some point you can't even see it on the market. And it became a problem. And the problem is because we don't have enough people in that sector.
Others want the youth to use the digital platform to enhance food production, encourage sustainable environment, and reduce the negative effect of climate change on agriculture.
You can have your walls and arrange the bottles there to grow. You could have your sack, the normal sack that we do have and we pack. You can fill it and grow something there. The goal today is to invite us into that possibility again, to say if you've not started doing it, you can start. If probably you've been doing it and you stop midway, please pick it up.
We are dependent on the health of the environment. If the environment is not healthy, then we are not healthy. So it's an harmonious connection between our health and the health of the environment.
The program's theme is Agbeloba, exploring cultural ways to transform food systems in Nigeria. From Abeokuta, the state capital, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
The Ogun State Governor, Dr. Abiodun, has flagged off a 20-man ad hoc committee with the State Commissioner for Agriculture as the chairman to ensure transparent distribution of 24,000 bags of fertilizers donated by the federal government to selected farmers across the state at a ceremony in Abeokuta, the state capital. The governor charged the committee members to ensure a high level of responsibility and transparency to bear on the distribution and ensure bounty harvest and food security. While commending the federal government for the gesture, he however announced the introduction of Back to Farm initiative with allocation of farmlands to within 10,000 youth to boost food production and food security.
Let me assure the good people of Ogun State that with agricultural sustainable at its core, this fertilizer initiative will not only facilitate the cultivation of crops, but also create opportunities, break barriers, and foster prosperity. I hope this will pave the way for a brighter future where every one of our youth's potential flourishes.
The State Commissioner for Agriculture, who also doubles as the chairman of the ad hoc committee, Bolu Owu-Tomo, promised utmost sense of responsibility however, highlighted some of the interventions provided by the state government to cassava, rice and maize farmers in the state.
Of 24,000 bags of fertilizer donated to our farmers through the CBN intervention of the federal government of Nigeria. Before today, Your Excellency, you have intervened in the affairs of our farmers in Ogun State using so many opportunities and so many windows. You have intervened in their affairs by giving 1,500 farmers, mostly drawn from our farm settlements, a 50% reduction in price of fertilizer, herbicides, maize seeds, and cassava stem.
Some of the beneficiaries of the gesture, including the Ogun State Chairman of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, commended the free fertilizer, but was quick to ask for more road infrastructure and modern way of doing agriculture.
Call it a token. We've just started. So it's a token for all the farmers in Ogun State. I appreciate, and the farmers too appreciate. They send me to the Excellency for the kindness that he gave, and he recognized the farmers. So my commissioner, I thank you, because if you did not recognize us, you will not introduce us to the governor.
Of 100,000. So, although it's not enough for 1 hectare of maize or 1 hectare of cassava, but at least it goes a very long way. So, but what I want to tell all our farmers is that they should ensure that the fertilizers are used the way it should be, and that will help our produce, all our products to at least grow well and do well. That's it.
Stakeholders in the education sector in Benue State have been advised to take steps to address those lapses or challenges which undermine school buildings and other facility which poses a threat to life of the pupils, students and learning. The Director General, Benue State Education Quality Assurance Agency, Dr. Tena Francis, gave the advice at an education stakeholders meeting held today in Makurdi, where he said such schools will be demolished if the gaps are not addressed within a time frame, highlighting some of the violations of the schools which fell short of basic guidelines and standards. The General Manager, State Urban Development Board, described some of the schools as substandard, stating that some of the schools have been identified and marked for demolition for the safety of pupils and students.
Discovered that there are buildings, school structures that are substandard and are just dead traps. We have seen that in no distant time they are going to collapse, and so they do not stand integrity test. Those kind of structures are not supposed to be in place, because by the time we allow disaster to happen, you all recall what happened recently in Abuja and Plateau, and these things have been happening like that. We must not wait for this thing to come and meet us here before we will start making explanations and crying and calling on God.
We have gone around, checked most of the schools which are substandard that we were planning to bring down. I have given them the notices. I would have gone out to remove those structures. But fortunately for me now, this meeting will sensitize the public, and it will make the public know why I'm going to remove those structures.
Meanwhile, the State Chairman, National Association of Private Proprietary Schools, among the stakeholders, welcomed the development, saying it is aimed at improving quality of education in Benue State, just as he called on the state governor to support Benue citizens in private schools in the payment of WAEC and not restrict it to only those in the public schools.
The issue of dilapidated structure, we have spoken to our members that they should remove the Benue child from this schools from this structure, because the danger is huge. The value of one Benue child is more than the entire structure. So we agree with the DG and that all school proprietors who are operating under such conditions should withdraw those children, and it should be extended to public schools too.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News. We'll quickly take a break, and when we return, the news continues. Do stay with us. The Northern Stakeholders Consultative Forum, in partnership with 72 other organizations, is demanding for accountability, transparency, and ethical governance in Nigeria. The group is concerned and demands immediate action regarding the troubling allegations involving Honorable Ugochinyere Ikenga, a member of the House of Representatives, on issues which borders on accountability and transparency, which are not merely legal requirements but also moral imperative essential to the functioning of democracy. The allegations against Honorable Ugochinyere Ikenga underscores a disconcerting narrative of exploitation and corruption, which is detrimental to the trust bestowed upon our legislative representative in the interest of restoring public confidence and institutional integrity. They also implored the Speaker of the House to initiate a comprehensive investigation into the serious allegations, particularly concerning the activities of the disbanded committee.
The unsettling reality we confront today reflects an assembly that has deviated from the ideals of service and integrity, an institution where the corrupted ethos have permeated the legislative framework. The allegations against Honorable Ugochinyere Ikenga underscore a disconcerting narrative of exploitation and corruption.
We have a duty as Nigerians to watch, moderate, and ensure that this democracy we are all enjoying must be sustained. Any attempt by any individual or group of people to undermine the democracy, we will vehemently resist it. And to that extent, for us, we feel they are not above law and they are not covered by any immunity. And even if they do after service, they may have to film music if we found one thing or the other.
The National Assembly.
Get it clear.
Because there is an allegation, a revelation of scandal, which they ought to investigate to its conclusion.
Exactly.
So that's what our demand is. We are demanding action from the leadership of the National Assembly so that they don't cover up this.
And pass off like that.
That's what we are saying.
That's exactly the story.
Because we are Nigerians, and we are part of the cultured Nigerians that believe in bringing about a new Nigeria.
No fewer than 5 terrorists have been killed by troops deployed for counter-terrorism operations in the Bama local government area of Borno State. The troops of the Nigerian Army in the operation conducted on August 12, 2024, in addition to killing the terrorists, recovered bombs, a rocket-propelled gun and 6 motorcycles, among others. The Army, in a statement on Tuesday on X, also said 44 Boko Haram terrorists and their families surrendered to troops deployed at Bama, Dikwa, and Goza local government areas of Borno State. The Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, says 2 of its cadets will depart to 2 prestigious United Kingdom military academies. A report has it that the 2 cadet officers to attend the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, and Royal Air Force College, Cranwell. The commandant of the academy, Major General John Uchai, urged the cadets proceeding on further military training at the renowned UK institutions to be good ambassadors of Nigeria. Uchai stated this at a farewell breakfast held in honor of the cadets. He encouraged them to build on the high standards that earned them the recognition and make Nigeria proud. Now we'll move on to the foreign desk for more news. Hello and welcome to the foreign news. Mpox, the high infectious disease that used to be called monkeypox, has been declared a public health emergency in Africa by the continent's top health body. Scientists from the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say they are alarmed by the speed at which a new strand of Mpox has been spreading. Since the beginning of the year, more than 13,700 cases and 450 deaths has been recorded in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The virus, which can cause lichens across the whole body, has spread to all the African countries, including Burundi, the Central African Republic, Kenya, and Rwanda. The declaration of a public health emergency will help government coordinate their response and potentially increase the flow of medical supplies and aid into affected areas. Health Chief outside Africa will also be monitoring the situation to assess the risk of the outbreak spreading further. Iran has dismissed calls from the UK and other Western countries to refrain from retaliation against Israel for the killing of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran last month. Amid a flurry of international diplomacy to de-escalate tensions, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer urged Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian to stand down its ongoing threat of a military attack in a rare telephone conversation. But Mr. Pezeshkian said retaliation was a way to stop crime and Iran's legal right. According to Iranian state media, Israel, which did not say it was involved in Haniyeh's assassination, has meanwhile put its military on its highest alert level. The US has warned that it is preparing for a significant set of attacks by Iran or its proxies as soon as this week and has built up its military presence in the Middle East to help defend Israel. Powerful Iran-backed Hezbollah movement in Lebanon is also threatening to retaliate over Israel's killing of one of its top commanders in an airstrike in Beirut. A murder investigation has been opened into Bangladesh ex-Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina over the police killing of a man during civil unrest. 6 other top figures in the previous government are also being investigated following weeks of deadly unrest in the capital Dhaka. Mamun Mia, a lawyer who brought the case on behalf of a private citizen, said the courts in Dhaka had ordered police to accept the murder case against the accused persons. This is the first step in a criminal investigation under Bangladeshi law. Ms. Hasina resigned and fled the country earlier this month, fleeing to neighboring India, as calls grew for her to stand down. More than 400 people were killed in weeks of student demonstrations, culminated in the demands against Ms. Hasina. Many of them were shot by the police on her orders. Businessman Amir Hamza applied to bring the murder case in July after a local grocer, Abu Saeed, was shot in the head while crossing the road. He told the court that on 19 July, students were holding a peaceful protest, alleging police had fired indiscriminately on the crowd. And still on the foreign news, Hamas military wing says that 2 of its guards has shot and killed 1 Israeli male hostage held in Gaza and seriously wounded 2 female hostages. The Israeli military said in response that it did not have any intelligence information that allows them to refute or confirm Hamas claims. Abu Ubaida, the spokesman for the Al-Qassam brigades, said on Telegram that the shootings had happened in 2 separate incidents and that attempts are being made to save the lives of those wounded. He did not identify the hostages or give more details about when or where the attacks occurred, saying an investigation was on the way. He blamed the incident on what he said were Israel massacres of Palestinians. The Israeli military said, "We will continue to examine and verify the credibility of the message and will update with any more information that we obtain." This is the first time that Hamas has said that its guards have killed hostages during the continuing war in Gaza. Flooding in Yemen has left at least 57 people dead and thousands displaced, the UN has said. More than 34,000 families were affected by the heavy rains, which began in late June and intensified in early August. According to the UN Humanitarian Affairs Office, it has worsened the country's already there humanitarian situation as millions grapple with the impact of a civil conflict that began nearly 10 years ago. The magnitude of the disaster is overwhelming and the humanitarian needs are enormous, said Matt Huber, the International Organization for Migration, acting chief of mission in Yemen. Regions affected by the flooding include Hudayada, Hajar, Taiz and Marib. Hudayada is among the hardest hit areas. Flooding there has displaced more than 6,000 families and caused widespread destruction to homes and essential services, according to the UN. Roads were closed and access to affected areas remained challenging, the body added. The IOM says it is ramping up emergency operations in the country. And finally, on foreign news, UN Chief Antonio Guterres has called for Africa to be given a permanent seat at the UN Security Council as part of reforms to correct historical injustices. The Security Council, the 5 permanent members of which are China, France, Russia, the UK and the US, has been long criticized for representing the realities that prevailed at the end of World War II, when much of Africa was still under colonial rule. The world has changed since 1945, but the composition of the Council, despite a few changes, has not kept pace. The 10 non-permanent members of the body are allocated by region, but unlike the 5 permanent members, they do not have the power of veto. The African Union has long been pushing for the continent to have 2 permanent representatives on the Council and an additional 2 seats as non-permanent representatives. The debate was conveyed by Sierra Leone and its president, Julius Maada Bio, made the case for the continent. The time for half measures and incremental progress is over. Africa must be heard and its demands for justice and equity must be met, he said. And that's all we have on the foreign news. And up next is entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom. Here's the full report.
Nigerians react as Afrobeat artist Tems and Rema makes former American President Barack Obama's 2024 summer playlist. Every year, the 44th President of the United States of America has made it a thing to release a list of his favorite songs for the year. Several Afrobeat artists have made it to his honorable list over the years, and this time only 2 singers were on it. Tems made it to the list for her amazing work on her hit track Love Me Jeje, which featured on her latest album Born in the Wild. Rema's Yayo, which features on his latest album Haze, also made it to Barack Obama's playlist. Famous Nigerian Afrobeat singer Damini Ogulu, popularly known as Burna Boy, has launched the Burna Boy Football Academy in Lagos. This new initiative aims to contribute to the development of African football through a structured training program. The academy is reported to operate 3 days a week, offering 2-hour training sessions on each of these days. Videos of the academy facilities and activities has recently surfaced online, surprising fans and followers. In the viral footage, young footballers are seen training on the field under the guidance of a coach. Another video captures the players enjoying Burna Boy's music and celebrating after a successful training session. The academy caters to young football enthusiasts in 2 age groups: junior boys age 4 to 15 and senior boys age 16 to 21. Popular socialite Yemuli holds civil wedding with his girlfriend Tayo. Photos from the legal wedding ceremony surfaced online, sparking mixed reactions. It will be recalled that the duo had parted ways early last year, but had mended things within this year, taking the relationship to the next level for their wedding ceremony. Yemuli was seen dapperly dressed in a black tuxedo and his wife in a beautiful gown. This year has undoubtedly taken many celebrities and beloved personalities as another talented and promising singer, Aduke Gold, dies. The news of her demise was shared on Tuesday by fellow gospel artist Esther Ibeke on social media, who posted a tribute with Aduke Gold's picture and the caption, "A general has fallen, R.I.P." Though the cause of her death remains unknown, netizens flooded in comment sections mourning her.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.
Now for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-666-6669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comment. And that's all we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news. My name is Nenwa Nkimazake. As for now, goodbye.